Good afternoon, parents and students. I hope that you have a great weekend. I just wanted to go over their exit ticket today. There were some questions it looked like with some of the students, and there definitely were some little problems here and there, but overall, they're starting to definitely understand the general ideas, which is great. All right. So it was a word problem where they were asked how many miles would they have to drive each day if at the end of their road trip they had to 1,142 miles left and they had 4 days to do it. How many miles each day would they have to travel? So this would turn into 1,142 divided by 4. The first way I'm going to do this is going to be the standard algorithm. That way we can see that and practice that a little bit more. And then we'll also do a little bit of the distributive quotients. So the 11 here, we're going to see 4 can't be going into the 1. We get it. Even though it's 1,000 here, this one we can't put any 4s into. So just as a placeholder, you can absolutely put a 0 there. The next number, however, we can because now we've got 11. So 11, that first D, is going to be divided by 4. 2 4s can make their way into 11. So next, we're going to multiply. 2 times 4 equals 8. And we're going to remember that this is actually 800 being subtracted from 1100. This is, again, 800 subtracted from 1100. Our next part is S. We're going to subtract, and 11 minus 8 is going to give us an answer of 3. And this is actually 300, once again, because of our place values. The next step is to bring down. We're going to bring down our tens. This is going to give us a 4 down here, and we're going to have 340 at this point. So the 4 is now going to be, excuse me, I forgot to write the B over here. Now we're going to go back to the top and we're going to divide again. We're going to divide 34 by 4. We can see that 8 4s can go into 34. We can check by saying 8 times 4, there's the multiplying, equals 32. 34 subtracting 32 from that is going to give us 2. Next, we're going to bring it down once more, and that's going to give us here 22. 2 and 2, 22. We're going to go back to the top, and once again, this is going to be now 22 divided by 4, and we are going to see how many of those go in there. We can get 5 4s in there. That's going to give us 5 times 4, the multiplication, gives us 20. We're going to subtract 20 from 22. That will give us 2. And there are no more numbers. So at this point, this will be our remainder. So we have 285 with a remainder of 2. Now, one way that we can look at this is a bigger number than they've dealt with. Some of the confusions were bringing it down. Some of the confusions were in the multiplication. Some of the confusions were in the subtraction. Double check if you are watching this, where did you make a mistake? It's okay to make mistakes. It's great to make them. That's how we learn. But this is where we were aiming for. Another way that I did see some students do was they did actually do the partial quotients where they actually broke the number apart. So this is a big number to break apart, but we've got 1142 and we've got a 4 here. So a number that we know that's less than 1142, but it's a pretty big number maybe, let's subtract 800. And how do we come up with 800? Well, 4 times 200 equals 800. So we're going to subtract that, and that's going to give us then, we've got a 2, we've got a 4, we've got 342 left over. Now we can't subtract another 800 from that. However, let's think of a number that's pretty close to that. How about, I see a 28 in there just to change the numbers up a little. So 280, how about 280? And how do we do that? We say 4 times 70 equals that 280. We're going to subtract that. And now we are going to have a 2. We're going to have to regroup to here to 14 tens, and that's going to give us 6 tens, 62. We're getting close now. Now, with the 4s, what number can we get into this from a 4? Looks like we can get all the way up to 60. 4 times 15 is going to equal 60. We subtract that, and that gives us our remainder of 2. Now, once again, in parentheses, this is how we put how many groups of 4 we have. 200 groups of 4, 70 groups of 4, 15 groups of 4. We add these together, and that still gives us the same answer of 285. Remember, students, these numbers, as long as they are a multiple of this, the divisor, you're okay. You can absolutely do all different answers. You could have 16s in there for 4. You could have had 80s. There's a ton of different answers, and there's some of you guys broke it down that way. All right. Remember, it's just got to be multiples of this subtracted from this big number right here. All right. So once again, there were quite a few mistakes. So if you were a student who made a mistake, don't feel bad as always. It's okay. We're learning, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.